That's everything else connecting. So funny. Every time we come here, we have the beep. We
Hmm?
hear the beep. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. We are at, I would say, the last week of June. Today is Monday, the 24th, 2024. Happy Monday to everyone. Thank you for coming on. Hello, Michael. It's so good to see you. It seems like a long time.
Yes, yes. But here we are.
Yes. Yes, here we are. We are here again on Monday talking about on passive. One of the aspect that I see that on passive is so, I mean, there's many, but I wanted to say that there are so many things that happen in on passive that's so different from the traditional company, and so that's what we want to talk about today is on passive, the exceptional the company. We don't see any company out there that is like on passive. So today we're going to talk about on passive, the exceptional, right, Michael? When we're talking about the exceptional, we're talking about a lot of things which Michael and I are going to bring it up. How do you like this topic, Michael?
I think it's perfect, Julie. It's always great to be a part of something that is not the norm, right? It's always great to be a part of something that is exceptional, as opposed to you're part of something that's the usual, right? So from that standpoint, yeah, this is a great topic.
Yeah. Yeah, when we talk about exceptional, for me, I think of the quality, something that is particular, that's unusual than the normal. Like what you say,
Mm.
it's out of the norm, right? It's very unusual, and we see that a lot in Unpassive. We see it in the leadership. We see it in our AI driven platform. We see the unusual in the product values that Unpassive is offering. We also see it in the automation of what Unpassive is talking about. And then we also see in our Unpassive ecosystem. And then we also see it in the global reach. Unpassive just doesn't focus on one area, but we're talking about the entire global. And then we're talking about how huge of a community and support that Unpassive has. And those are the topic that Michael and I wanted to bring on today. It's because if we are sitting down here and talking about the exceptional, the unusual what Unpassive is doing, I think we can talk about it all day because everything that I see that Unpassive is doing is really unique. And so, Michael, let's start it with talking about the leadership in Unpassive, and especially in our CEO, Mr. Ash Mufareh, the founder of the company. He is so unique. He's not like any other CEO that out there, but he's focused more on the values, the humanity. He's just very special, and he's the only CEO that I see that he gets it, right, Michael? You agree
Well,
with that?
yeah, you know, what I look at where a CEO is concerned is the fact that he actually cares about people, right? To me, that's the first and foremost. He cares about people. He actually wants to see people achieve success. He wants people to win, and he's willing to go that extra mile to ensure that is the case. And to me, that's exceptional because that's not the norm. Most CEOs, again, they're there for one reason and one reason only, and that is to put profit in the company's pockets. And that's it. What is the norm, right? You join a company and you have to do all the work. You know what I mean? And yet you don't get all the pay. You do all the work, you don't get all the pay. You do all the work, you don't get most of the pay, and so on. Right? That's the norm. The norm is for people to join a company and they lose, whether they lose in the first 6 months or whether they lose in the 5 years, whatever. Right? People lose. You know what I mean? At some point, people end up losing, and so we see in our CEO someone that says, you know what, uh, it doesn't have to be that way. Right? We can make a completely different plan. We can turn this thing 160, go in the complete opposite direction. Right? And that's what we see in him. We see someone that makes himself available to us, right? He doesn't have to, but he does on a regular basis, whether that's once a week, whether that's once a month, whether that's every 2 weeks, right? The point is, on a regular basis, we hear from our CEO. He makes himself readily available to us. And that is certainly not the norm, right? That to me is exceptional for someone to keep coming, and sharing with us. Again, when you look at all that he's doing. You know what I mean? He has his family to deal with, right? He has executive members that he has to deal with. He has other corporations that he has to deal with. You have legalities that he has to deal with. You have so much that he has to deal with. And yet he takes time out of his busy schedule, Julie, to make time for us as the early birds, that came in along for this journey. So when you look from that, because you have to start with the head, right? You can't start at the bottom. You can't start with the tail. You got to start with the head. You look at someone that values his staff, his employees as partners, not just employees, right? So when you look at, just those couple aspects, Julie, you find someone who is exceptional. You find someone who does care about humanity and is doing his very best to ensure that he leaves a lasting legacy that's going to have a positive impact on society as we move forward, Julie.
Absolutely, Michael. One thing that I really truly love about our CEO, our leadership, is that every time that he comes to a meeting, not just like, this is business, 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 but he actually spend time getting to know the people in the meeting, know about individually, know about their things, the special, the difficult, he sit there and he spent time with us, and I think that is very special. And absolutely, we have an exceptional CEO and the founder, and we all call him our friend and our brother as well. And I think that is a very special and important key for any CEO that lead a company. You have to show that leadership. You have to show that exceptional leadership to other people as a role model to not only to the CEO but to everyone's that involved in this business as well. And that is to me really stand out a lot in our CEO. Besides, he's brilliant in the things that he does, right? So when talking about the brilliance of the things that our CEO and the entire team does, I have to bring up the AI driven platform that Onpassive is creating. It is a platform where he created to the entire global, not just focusing on any kind of region or not only focus on certain area, but the entire region, or it's really across the platform for everybody to actually use it. The automations, the customer engagement, the business automation. I mean, there's so much that involved in it, and that's a part where I believe it's very powerful.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have automation, Julie. Without the automation, then people are left, to their own skills, as far as being able to generate customers. Customer acquisition is not an easy thing, like for any business, whether it's a digital company, whether it's a brick and mortar company, it doesn't matter. Customer acquisition, is not something that is easy, and companies spend a lot of money into that, because without customers, how do you sell your products, right? How do you actually make money? So you need customers. So it's a very, very crucial part of any company, right? Whether big or small, doesn't matter the size of the company, doesn't matter the products, the services, right? Regardless of what you're selling, what you're offering, right? You have to have customers. And so when you can build in automation in your process, that sets you apart from what's out there in the marketplace. And so that's another way that Onpassive is exceptional. Because if it was up to me and you, Julie, we just wouldn't win, right? And I think a lot of people get that. Right? A lot of people understand that, yes, we've tried and we've tried and we've tried all these other companies. Most people are not marketers, right? They're just not, right? It is what it is. And so you bring someone into a company and they're faced with that challenge. Well, how can I get customers, and not just customers, but customers that's going to stay, right? You need to stay in power. You don't want to just, well, I went out and I got 1,000 customers And then a month later, all of them are gone. So now I have to go and find another set of customers, right? No, you want customers to be able to come in and stay. So you have to have a process. There has to be a mechanism that you can employ that's going to make that happen for you 24/7, Julie, right? You want to be able to sell 24/7. We know most stores, they have a fixed time when they're selling, right? You go to Walmart, it opens at this time and it closes at this time, right? And so the times that it's closed, well, they're not selling, right? So if you can put yourself in a position whereby you can sell, you can make your product, your service available to the marketplace, to the globe, right? 24/7, like that's a complete win right there. And so we certainly have that in OnPassive. And so our CEOs ensure that that is the case, that we're going to have that automated process using the latest AI technology to assist us in making sure that happens, Julie, right? It can be done. It is being done. And, like our CEO says, it's do it or die. It's going to happen for every single person that comes into OnPassive who chooses to be an affiliate that wants to be able to generate customers. They'll be able to experience that for themselves, Julie.
Absolutely. And talking about the experience it for themselves, there are products that are offerings right now where people can actually experience free product. They can use it for life. There's products that you actually can test drive it, can play with it, love it, before you actually make that purchase. I mean, this is amazing. Who does that? Who does that? Who create the products that are so valuable, where OnPassive has done its research and development and know what the market in need of, the products that in need of to run certain tasks. That is amazing when you're offering something that's valuable. Customer, you don't have to do the selling, you don't have to do so much of the marketing, but when you have something that's so valuable, you want people to see it, so you continue to tell people about it. And that's what we're talking about, the valuable of what OnPassive is offering. You've mentioned also the automation, not just one product, across the board.
Absolutely, Julie. But when you think of what we're actually doing, we continue to build the brand,
Mhm.
right? We continue to build the brand, and again, in that area, OnPassive is exceptional because a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of research, a lot of resources is going into building the brand, right? You have to have a brand, especially in today's climate, right? That is so important, and so the company is spending enough time and resources towards that to make sure that OnPassive becomes an household name, right? So now you get to use a video conferencing that's powered by OnPassive. Now you want to go buy a domain name, you want to create a website. Okay, you'll be able to do so because it's going to be powered by OnPassive. And the list goes on, Julie, right? That's what we're talking about when we're talking about our products. Being able to have something that people want, something that people want to utilize. And how do we know this, Julie? Well, we know people buy domain names, so that's not a secret, right? So if you can bring something to the marketplace that's going to create value, right, with a product that you already know that people want, people use, right, then it just makes sense, right? We know that people use video conferencing platforms, right? Again, it's not a secret. People are using these, and there's billions of dollars involved in this particular arena, right? And so when you put together something that people are going to love, people are going to want to use on a regular basis, Julie, what are you doing? You know what I mean? You're ensuring that revenue is generated. You're ensuring that you have customers upon customers upon customers, right? When you talk about people out there who want to analyze their data, right? That is something that is huge right now. And AI stands out in that department, Julie, to be able to analyze information, right? Your data, right? And so when you have a product such as OTracker, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're looking at, to be able to give people what they're looking for and add value to what they may currently have right now, because that's one way you can get people to make a decision. Okay, do I continue using what I'm already using, or do I make a switch, right? So if I can give you more value than what you're currently having right now and make it more cost effective for you, right? It's a done deal, right? So there's lots that goes on behind the scene to ensure that that will be the case, Julie, so that people will know and will recognize OnPassive. And we see that through our partnerships. That's part of the branding. So branding is very, very important. And OnPassive stands out in that department as well.
Absolutely. And we cannot forget to brag about our OnPassive ecosystem, Michael. Uh, you know, the OnPassive ecosystem is actually designed to support businesses, in multiple field I mean, like I said, across the board, right? And all the tools and the services that are offered in the OnPassive ecosystem are interconnected. They are interconnected with each other. I mean, I do imagine that, Michael, any business that come into OnPassive, they'll be able to operate them using all the tools and services in the ecosystem. They'll be able to not only that 100% operational in their business, it's also help them to reduce the costs of what they're currently spending, and also reducing the time that they're spending on their business as well, because all the products and services that are often inside the OnPassive ecosystem is interconnected. It's working well together,
Mhm.
and I that is absolutely a point to brag about.
Yeah, definitely, Julie. And again, be sure we mention businesses, but individuals as well, right? It really is for everyone,
Yeah.
right? People will find something that they can use within the OnPassive ecosystem, right? We know lots of individuals, millions upon millions of people around the world have an email account, right? So here comes OMAIL, right? So the point is that OnPassive is for everyone everywhere. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, right? OnPassive is for you because there will be something there, right? That allow you to do what it is that you're looking to do, right? Whether you want to communicate through email marketing, whether you want to communicate through social media, whether you want to communicate through online learning, etc. Right? There's something within the OnPassive ecosystem for everyone. If you just want to stay in touch with your customer base, right? There's something in there for everyone. And that's what I love about OnPassive, Julie, is a one-stop shop. One-stop shop. No more of signing into multiple places just to get to what you need for that day, right? One-stop shop. And that also is exceptional because right now, there's so many places that you have to go to put everything all together. You know what I mean? If you want to create a system for yourself, whether it be a funnel, or any type of marketing solution, right? You have to go to multiple places because there's different products that you need to put together to make it a complete system. OnPassive says we understand all of that. We can do it, right? We can do all the heavy lifting, and we can make sure that everything is interconnected, as you have suggested, right? Because that is the way to go about it, Julie. Especially in the age that we're in now. We're in the age of AI. Artificial intelligence is here to stay, folks. You know what I mean? And there's so much that has been said about it, and people continue to work on it because we have not reached the pinnacle as yet where AI is concerned, right? There's still a race going on, right? And OnPassive is at the forefront of that. OnPassive is exceptional in that department, with all the infused technology that's within our products, right? So again, put it all together, make it nice and simple, make it seamless, and so that it will deliver the results that people are looking for, right? Because that's what people want. People want something that's simple, nothing that's complicated. People don't want to be, oh my gosh, I'm not tech savvy, so I can't be involved. I can't, participate. No, people want something that is nice and easy, nice and simple, and effective, Julie, because it has to be effective, right? And you mentioned basically being efficient, right? You mentioned basically having saving companies on the money that they spend to carry out certain tasks, right? If you can make that process more efficient and more effective for corporations, hey, you have a winning solution. And that's what OnPassive is, a winning solution.
Absolutely. When you're talking about winning solutions, when you're talking about one-stop shopping, when you're talking about efficient, it's not just one area, it's not just one product, it's not just one country, it's a global reach. Unpassive has already had the footprint globally throughout the early birds community, throughout the new customer community, and it aimed to serve businesses, individuals around the world. Talking about the company, which companies actually out there have one paid product so far, three free product, but you have millions of people that follow, that have footprint in globally. I haven't seen any company out there like that. And not only that, talking about the community and the support among the people, among the early birds, among the new affiliates. Are you talking about new customer? We actually have a very strong community of people globally, not just in the US or in Canada where you are, but globally. Small, medium, large community together. And I haven't found any company like that that has such a large global reach, Michael.
Well, OnPassive is a movement, Julie, right? And that's what makes it unique. That's what makes it exceptional. It's not just a company. You know what I mean? It's actually a movement. And so many people are involved in that movement. And that's what allows it to be able to be a viral sensation, right? OnPassive right, is going to the moon. There's no doubt about it. And all those who've decided to, jump on board, their place is there. Their place is there waiting for them. Julie, because it is something that is needed, right? The world needs a transformation, right? So many people's lives have been negatively impacted, by so many companies right across the board. So many people have been taken advantage of, basically, right? By either companies producing inferior products and then selling those inferior products at, extravagant prices. You know what I mean? Why can't companies produce products that are effective but at the same time cost effective as well, right? Let it be user friendly on people's budget, right? Why should, okay, you know what, I want to eat healthy as an example, right? But yet in order to do so, it costs a fortune to be able to eat healthy. But if I want junk, Julie, if I want to put junk in my body, junk is so cheap, right? It's very inexpensive, right? Why is that? Shouldn't it be the other way around? Shouldn't it be that, you know what, folks, this is good for you. I'm going to make it nice and cost effective so that everyone can afford good food. No, it's the other way around, right? It's people who have access, people who have, the financial resources, they're able to eat healthy because they can afford to, right? And then others who can't afford to, well, here's junk for you. Why should it be that way? It doesn't have to be. Companies can still make money by doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what OnPassive is about. Doing the right thing, Julie, so that people will be able to get the benefits that they're looking for without harming their pockets, right? It is possible, and OnPassive is doing just that.
Yeah. And Michael, everything that we have been talking about for years now, it's all really come down to CatMo, right? All the points that we've saying is, all the points that we've set today, it's really come down to a complete digital solutions that automatically driven using AI and targeted traffic, right? All of what we said. So the one last point that we wanted to also bring down is talking about the innovative revenue model, the revenue sharing model that OnPassive is creating, that every customers, every affiliates have an opportunity to actually earning the revenue based on the product that they share. We have the customer, we have the product. When there is a transactions between those, we create profit and we actually get to share the profit based on the transactions that is coming. So what else can we ask for,
Well,
right? We have the complete system automatically driving targeted traffic. Now we make money.
well, again, how do you go about uplifting humanity, right?
Yeah.
When you think of that, how do you go about helping people, right? And so at the core of that, Julie, is it comes down to people's finances, right? People want good products. Okay, how do they get the good products? They have to pay for it, right? People are in need of, you know, clean water, better standard of living, etc. It comes back to what? To money, right? To finances, right? And so if you can put people in a position whereby you actually putting out good products, right? Not just make a product just for making its sake, but good products. There's some, value there, irrespective of what the profit may be, right? Because sometimes you need to make a good product, Julie, and maybe a loss to the company, but you're insistent on putting out something that is good, that that people are going to use, people are going to love, right? It's going to be valuable in their particular lives. So sometimes you have to do that. Unpassive is prepared to do that, right? And then you say, okay, well, we're not trying to make a gazillion dollars, you know what I mean, at the sake of, I don't want to say stealing from people, but at the sake of hurting people's pocket, right? Let me say it that way, right? Because that's what companies do, Julie, right? They're literally just stealing from people. But let's be nice and say you don't want to hurt people's pocket, right? And so Unpassive is prepared to do just that as well, because they're not money driven. The focus is not about money for the company, but you know what? How can we redistribute the revenues that come in? How can we help put profit legally in people's pockets? By offering them an opportunity, offering them a chance, a real life chance to be able to succeed in the marketing business, in the marketing and sales of products. How can we do that? And that's exactly what Unpassive is set out to do, Julie, is to put people in a position that, hey, you want to come and be an affiliate? No problem. Here you go. And we'll give you a fighting chance, a real chance that you will win. Hey, here's some products that's going to benefit you in whatever endeavor you may be engaged in, right? Not a problem. Here you go. Here's some products. There's value-driven products. These are products that are going to make a difference in your life somehow, some way, okay? And it's not going to hurt your pocket. You always have to remember the end user's pockets, Julie, right? You really do, because too many times we've seen people spend money on this, spend money on that, buy this product, buy that product, and they're terrible products, right? We've seen that, right? Or the cost is so high that you can't afford to get the real products that you're looking for. A person's health is more valuable than money. Absolutely, right? And so there are companies out there, Julie, right, that charge a arm and a leg to people, right? And they know they can't afford it, but they don't care. It's like, hey, you want the cure, you want the solution, let's say, but it's going to cost you this much. You know what I mean? We can't bring it down to your level. I'm sorry, this is where it's going to be. Unpassive says, no, we don't have to have that type of a model, right? We can make money, because we see a lot of these companies making money, Julie, right? Billions of dollars. Every time I watch the news and see the reports that come out, this company made X amount of billions for this quarter. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, wow. But when I look and I see people losing their homes because the mortgage rate is too high, you know what I mean? Right? Just everywhere you turn, right? People just can't go to the grocery store and afford to buy proper grocery because the cost is too high. People looking at the gas station and says, wow, the gas costs so much, I can't fill up my vehicle. But yet I have to get to work. You know what I mean? The list goes on and on and on. I can't afford to buy a home because the prices are skyrocketed, right? So the bottom line, Julie, is that Unpassive says there is a better way, right? There is more than enough for everyone on the table, right? We don't have to, gouge out your eye or something, just to make a buck. It's just not necessary. We don't have to live in that type of a world, but we can create an environment whereby it's safe for people, right? It's cost effective for people, right? Companies can save money. It's okay to save money. Nothing wrong with that, right? And yet there's still enough room left over for Unpassive to profit. That's why Unpassive says to us as affiliates, as early birds, that, hey, listen, when you have your fill, when you have taken care of yourself and your family based upon the customers that you will receive, based upon the sales that you will generate, based upon the income as a result of those sales, then do your best to help out others. Do your best, whether that's employing other people, whether that's, gifting money to charitable organizations, whatever the case may be. The point is, there's more than enough on the table for everyone to have their fill, right? And so that is a different model, right? That's a completely different model. That's not a model that says, survival of the fittest. You know what I mean? That's not a model that says, well, only the big marketers are going to succeed over here. No, right? It's a model that says every single person can win. And why not? What is wrong with that model? Show me that person who loves to lose, Julie. Show me that person. You know what I mean? Everyone wants to win. So Unpassive says, hey, we can do that, right? We can do that, and we are doing that. That's Unpassive, and that's the Unpassive model.
Absolutely, Michael. At the end of the day, if you can create something that everyone loves, everyone come in, and it's like creating something that they have a good feeling, like they feel good to be around, right? Every day we have fresh website, fresh informations, right? If we can create a business that know people, when they come into On Passive, they know that the people behind On Passive know people, know their needs, right? So they feel good about it, right? When they come into Onpassive, they know that Onpassive is have a very friendly environment where we actually extended our hand to help everybody around, not just one individual, but it's everybody. When you come into a business where you see that everybody are on the same playing field. So if anybody, any company out there that see the way that Onpassive is doing, they should actually change to that. And it would be very nice to see that everybody that come in on passive have that same feeling. So on passive is leading the way to change the way the entire market, the world is doing business, the world of treating people, and it's so privilege and pleasure and honor for us to be part of this company. And I feel very blessed every single day. I pray for it, and I also feel very blessed just to be part of it, to be at the very beginning of this company creating. And then we also get to see all the qualities, that values that come out of this company, people coming into on passive, and they have a very good feeling about it, and that's what everyone should have.
Now, why not be the example of change, Julie? Why not? Right?
There
Why
you go.
not be the example of change? Right? Like, think about that. Right? We have that opportunity to do just that. On
Mhm.
passive as that opportunity to do just that, to be that example of change, to show companies and show everyone that it can be done this way. Right? It can be done the right way. Right? It doesn't have to be the norm. Right? It doesn't have to be the norm. And so on passive has stepped up to the plate and says, you know what, we'll go to bat for the people, right? Since no one else is willing to do that, we will go to the bat for the people because we know companies out there that are worth billions upon billions upon billions. You understand? That exists out there in the marketplace. And what are they actually doing for humanity? What are they actually doing? You know what I mean? Like when you think about it, right? What are they actually doing? And it's sad, Julie, because again, it just doesn't have to be that way. But thank God for on passive,
Yeah.
right? Thank God for a CEO that says, you know what? Yeah, we can do it differently. We can. So let's do it, right? And that's exactly what we see happening, Julie. Regardless of timing and all this other stuff, you know what I mean? On
Mhm.
passive is worthwhile. It is worth the wait, because when it does come, Julie, when it does come, right? People are going to be so amazed at it. People are going to be so appreciative of it, and people are going to forget about everything that came prior to it, right? It's like it's like in sports. Your team hasn't won a championship in 30 years. You know what I mean? But people are still faithful, right? They're still there. They're still buying tickets, and stadiums are sold out and all these things, and yet your team hasn't won in 30 years. You know what I mean? But they stay loyal, and one day they're rewarded, Julie. And
Yeah.
when that reward comes, oh my gosh, the celebration, right? The celebration. And so we know it takes time. We've seen companies out there that have taken 7 years, to actually gain traction. We've seen companies taking 10 years. We've seen companies taking 3 years, and so on, right? The time is not what's important. What's important is what you actually deliver,
Yeah.
right? So on passive isn't about if, right? On passive is something that we know is a done deal. There is no doubt about it. Our CEO has said it from the very beginning, and he still stands by that, and we stand by it. We support him, right? And we know that this company is going to make a massive positive difference right around the world, Julie. Not just in America, not just in Dubai, not just in Africa, right around the globe, right? That's what On Passive is about, helping everyone everywhere. It's whosoever will, Julie.
Absolutely. Michael, when you bring out about sport team, I have an example. When you in love, or when you wanted to go watch your favorite sport, or your favorite team, what do? You buy, jersey. You buy everything's about that team. You pay so much money to come in and watch this sport or this event, right?
Mhm.
So you come in, what do? You cheer for your team, right? So you got to choose. You want to be on the court, which is you do whatever it takes to take your team to the winning point, or you choose to be a cheerleader, or you choose to be on the stand to actually cheer for your team. The people that choose to be on the court, they practice, they do whatever it takes, right? Fairly to take their team to the winning point. And the people that come and choose to be on the stand, what do? They scream, they cheer, and everything. And the goal is to bring that team to the to the winning point.
Mhm.
So when we are choosing to be where we are, right? Which is in unpassive. What do we choose? We choose to cheer, or we choose to do whatever it takes to take unpassive to the winning point. We are at the winning point. We are at that point. How do we make ourselves stronger? How do we make that go further than just that winning point? And I think it's really important for every single one of us, whether you are a customer, if you love the product, you use a product, you share about the product, or whether or not you are an affiliate, we all want to be at the winning point. So the choices is in our hand. Where do we want to be? We want to be in that winning circle. And I think that's a choice we all have to make every single day, giving the fact that On Passive is an exceptional company. It's a unique and extraordinary company that's no other could I guess could catch us up, right?
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
we start way far ahead from the very top. And so the choice is in our hands, you know,
Mhm.
and we're all blessed being here, part of Unpassive movement.
Well, I choose to be in the winning circle, Julie. That's for sure. Right? That's that's my choice, right? I choose to be in the winning circle, and that's certainly where On Passive is. On Passive is in the winning circle, and all of us will be able to experience that, and just be blessed and grateful for the opportunity, Julie. This it just doesn't come along every day. You know what I mean? Opportunities like this, it does not come along every day. And so, we are obviously grateful that our CEO decided to go on this journey and invited us,
Yeah,
right? Didn't have to invite us, right? But he invited us to come along. And here we are, better for it, and certainly in the future to come, uh, so many people's lives will be touched positively, Julie. Too
that's
many times you hear of the negative impact that companies have had on individuals. Too many times. That story is been done over and over and over and over and over again. You know what I mean? It's time for a change. It's time for a real solution that will have that impact. And certainly on passive, it's on its way doing just that, Julie.
absolutely. And you know what? Whether your choice is this or that, here in Unpassive, we do or die, right? Unpassive continues. And that's why right here, right now, I want to pick the topic for next week is Unpassive, Unstoppable. Wow. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming in here and listen to our discussion, and especially the friends that are continue to support this channel and also giving super stickers. You definitely don't need to do that, but if you do that, I appreciate you very much. Thank you, everyone, for coming here. Looking forward to see you next week. Stay blessed. Goodbye.